yesterday. We have a lot to come cover today because yesterday a lot of people came and they asked a lot of questions. So we have a lot to cover today because I want to cover this JavaScript basic. Then tomorrow it is JavaScript DOM. We are going to do a small kind of a project with DOM programming. Then it is Async JavaScript is there, and then ES6 is there. So we have a lot of things to cover, and so let's get started. And we're soon going to tomorrow we're going to have JavaScript projects also. I have not told it earlier. We are going to have JavaScript projects. Okay, so morning. So I will please stay tuned. You're going to see more about it later on. So let me share my screen. Okay, so a lot of people are asking for JavaScript projects. Yeah, we'll have some JavaScript projects now. Okay, and so this is what we have done yesterday, like this arrays. Okay, so arrays we've just started, and we've seen this push, pop, and all these things. Okay, so the next thing which we are going to do is array have also a lot of method. In fact, array is the one of the most important data type, not only in JavaScript but in almost every programming language. Okay, so let us see some more Java. So some array methods like array, okay, not output but the console should be open. Array methods. So this one only we have, suppose, and then I will have a console.log array dot is array and lang. So this is a method which and we are going to look on more array method when we're going to do ES6. With ES6 a lot of array methods, like they are used a lot. Okay, they use a lot, like for each, map, reduce, filter. They use a lot in React also, so they are very important. So array dot is array lang undo, and see, it will give me true or false. Okay, so lang is like a array, so it is giving me true. And again, if I give something like maybe lang of 1 or anything 2, so it is not an array, it is an string. So if I hit and run it, it will give me false. So that is there. Then we have like string, we have includes also. So let us do one includes. Okay, so like this array dot, why I'm doing that? Okay, so this is array dot, this is lang dot includes, and suppose let me check whether this okay, this Java is maybe Kotlin. Yeah, Kotlin. Maybe Kotlin is there or not. Okay, yeah, that's true, Kotlin is there. Okay, so if I write for something like 5 is there or not, it will give me false. 5 was there earlier, but we later on we removed it. So 5 is there, not and 5 is not there anymore. So this is there, and again that array methods mdn, if you do, you'll find a lot of good array methods, but don't go through all of them, and we're going to cover a lot of them when we're going to do ES6. Okay, so there are a lot of array methods. Array is one of the most powerful thing which have a lot of methods, so we have to use this. Array with objects form the basics of the internet. Actually, you're soon going to see how array with your objects form the basics of internet. Is the base of internet on which the internet runs. Array of objects. So the important kind of a thing, array of objects. Okay, everything from your Amazon to your Flipkart to your Google, everything works on that. Okay, array of object, a special kind of a thing. So what are objects now? So let's come back to that. What are objects? So let us do that. Okay, so JSbins. Okay, objects are different from, if you're coming from Java background, they are a bit different from. Okay, one sec, someone is asking something. Okay, okay, so go for your hostel timing for dinner. And class duration is 1 hour, daily 1 hour. Okay, good evening Manish. Okay, so this is the day 2. So those who don't know, on our channel we have this weekly, we have this format only. So 5 days, 1 hour each, and we have this certification programs. This week we have only one certification program. Most of the time we have 3 certification program. 2 of our trainers are like busy. I am the main trainer, but there are 2 other trainers are also there. so they are both of them are a bit busy. So from next week, I think again we're going to have 2 trainings on a weekdays, and soon we'll have again 3 trainings on a weekdays. Okay, so that is how we work. Okay, and weekend are a different story altogether. Generally, every Saturday we have a 3 hours workshop, and once in a month we have a 2 day long boot camp also. This time we'll have a 2 day long boot camp. Stay tuned on the groups in which you are. Okay, so in that boot camp we teach everything. Okay, so which is required for you to become a web app developer, because this channel is all about becoming a web app developers. Okay, so that is there. And so Manish, how can I change for only one person evening around 1 6 p.m.? But stay tuned, you are going to have from, we generally, as I'm telling, we have not only one but 3. We have actually 3 streamings. From next week, we are going to have one more streaming at 6 p.m. One more streaming at 6 p.m. and 8:31 will also go on from next week. One streaming at 6 p.m. So there will be one streaming at 6 p.m. from next week. Okay. So as I've told, if you go to our channel, we generally have 3 streamings per week. Okay, every day. One generally in the afternoon at around 3 p.m. One generally at 7 p.m. But we're planning to change the time to 6 p.m. and one is at 8:30. Okay, one is at 8:30. Most probably I will take the 6 p.m. one. Okay, and our other trainer Mosum will take the 8:31. Okay, so that is it. So objects is there. What are objects? Objects are actually one of the most powerful thing in JavaScript, and they're like array. They are used to store some data. So how the data are stored in an object? So suppose I have a const person is equal to this. So this is how objects are written, like this curly bracket, and then I have a like f name is. The objects are all about key value pair. Okay, key value pair is the that L name is like source, like age is 40, and so arrays are what? Arrays are like key value pair. So the main thing of an array is that key is always unique, and key is always a string. Although we are not showing it as a string, we are not showing it as a string, but it is a string. It is a string, and the right hand side, which is the value, can be anything. Can be anything. In fact, it can be some other object also. Other object, other array. Like suppose I have a hobbies like this. Okay, like coding, logging. Okay, so like this I have hobbies, and so see the value is an array. Value is an array. So similar to this, I have a address like, and the value can be another object also. Okay, so h number is like 38, comma city Bhopal, comma state is MP. So like this I can have. And one more thing is there, objects. There is a very popular thing known as a JSON object. So JSON objects, the full form is like JavaScript object notation. They are a bit different from your objects, and they are the way in which actually data moves around in the internet. So I will show an API endpoint. API endpoint is what we are going to see. What are the API endpoint? So suppose there is a very popular API endpoint like this JSON placeholder. So JSON placeholder. So this. Okay. To see the data, this is the API endpoint. This is not a normal website. This is how actually data moves around in the internet. This is again an object, but and it is also a complicated object, just like we have made it here. Like some of this, like this key have array, or key have array also, key have object also. Here also the key have like object, and inside that object there is another object. Okay, that is like that. But one thing to notice here is that on the right hand side, all the keys are in double quotes, and the left hand side also, wherever there is a string, it is in double quotes. So this is the difference between JSON object and JavaScript object. So JavaScript object, it is not mandatory. JSON object is also a JavaScript object, and it can be thought like a superset of this. Okay, but a JavaScript object is not a JSON object. Okay, because I don't have a double quotes. But if I give a double quotes here, it will not throw any error. Okay, so like this here also everything is in double quotes, not all single quotes, double quotes. Okay, so that is a JSON object. Now how to just yeah, good evening. So how to just do a console.log of person. If I do a person, so it will show me like this. And there is a bit issue in this, not in JavaScript, but in JSbins it is showing this object. So you can ignore it if I open it in a console, real console. So this is a real console. So it will be shown like this. Okay, this at the end you can see, like if I clear it and run it, so it is at the end of the, it is also someone have created it, so it will show like this. Okay, so this is how it is shown. So now what more? So suppose I want to get the value at the end of the main thing is to get the value. Here we use this bracket notation to get the value. So how do we see a value here? So we have actually two ways to see a value. One is the f name, so like this f name. One is the dot notation. This is the dot notation, and 99% of the time you're going to use this only. So f name, Nabindu is coming. So there is another way known as a bracket notation. So how does that work? So that works like, I come here and f name and I do a bracket here. This is known as bracket notation, but it's in this I have to give a single quotes, and in this I can write last L name, and see if I clear it and run it, it will also show the same thing. Now what is the benefit of it? So Hawaii, if you joined late, Hawaii, I should give the brief of it. Okay, so please, there is a replay button in that your YouTube. Please go back and see the replay. Okay, so okay, we have started with the objects. Okay, so just see that you can. I think you can replay that thing. Go a bit back, or you can see. Anyways, the recording will be there on the YouTube always, and you can always see. Okay, so that is there, and just do that. Okay, so that is there, and this so this bracket notation, why do you use this bracket notation? We use this bracket notation because maybe sometimes the case can be like this. If I have another single quote say, and if I want to write something like last, last space name, so if I give this last space name here, it will give me error because there is, I cannot give a space like this, but here I can directly give like this. Okay, it will not give me error because there is a quote there, and I can show it like this. Okay, so it will be shown. So now how to get this blogging, means how to access this blogging. So to access this blogging, I'll have a console.log of person, because this is something which you should know, person dot hobbies, and so it's an it will give me this array. So after that, if it is giving me array, I can just have a one and it will show me this blogging. So now suppose I want to have this Bhopal. So how to do that? So for that, I have to do person dot address, and always try to take the dot notation only in object, and then dot city I'll do, and it will show me. And there are actually not way too many, I mean, functions in objects. Most of the functions are in array only, but if you want to there is two functions are there. If sometimes what happens, we want to take everything in an array, because array are very easy to iterate. So we can have something like console.log of object. So this is an inbuilt method, object.keys of person, and object dot values of person, like this. Clear it, run it. So it will have every key in a array, like first name, last name, age, hobbies, address, and here every value in a array. So Nabindu, Vishwas, 40, then this was a complicated thing, so this is showing like this. Okay, so this is something which is there. Now we are going to move into the next thing, because there are a lot of things to cover. Okay, so Now we are going to look into one of the very important topic known as loops. Loops are not only in JavaScript but in almost every programming language. It is from the start of time, from when the Pascal was invented in 1960. Pascal, COBOL at that time. Okay, it is from there, and most of the loops have not changed much, like the for loop, while loop, do while loop, switch statement, if else is not loop only, if else statement. All those things are almost same. Means it is like from 1960. How many years? Like 80 years since the programming languages were introduced. It is not changed much, although every language adds some easy thing from their own side. Like JavaScript also added some very good for loops, like there is a for each, there is a for in, and all those things are there. But a traditional for loop is like same from the past 80 years. Yeah, 80 years. So let us write the traditional for loop first. Every program language is like the same, only the way to declare the variable changes. So suppose this. And why are loops required? Okay, first thing, why a loop requires, let me tell that. So suppose I want to print console.log, like loop number, and suppose I want to write this loop number 1, loop number 2, loop number 3, loop number 4, like 4 times I've written. Okay, so I'm saying I'm repeating something, but suppose this thing I have to write 1,000 times, so I cannot write 1,000 times like loop number 1 2 3 4 5 7 9 10 11 12, and all of these things can be replaced with only 3 lines, only 4 lines of code. Okay, including the not 3 lines of code actually. Okay, and because whenever something is repetitive, we can change it to a loop. So this is the main requirement of a loop. Whenever something is repeated in programming, you don't write it, and we cannot write it in a lot of situations. Like in this situation, we cannot write it, so we use the loops. Here. So first we'll look into the traditional for loop. So traditional for loop is like, for let I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 10. I'll explain it. And I plus plus, then the same thing we are writing here, console dot log, and this, and loop number I, and it will run 10 times. So how does it work? How does this work? So let us understand how does this traditional for loop works. So this traditional for loop works like this. For let I equal to 0, a variable I equal to 0 has been given. So it will come here and see, okay, a variable I is 0 is there, it is there. Then it will come, so it will come like this, and then it will come here. 0 is less than equal to 10. Actually, this loop will run till this thing is true. So 0 is less than equal to 10. I is less than equal to 10 means it will I 0. So 0 is less than equal to 10. Yeah, it is true. So the moment it is true, in the first iteration, only in the first iteration, it will come down. After this, it will come down, and loop number 0 will be printed. Then the next time, when it will go up, it will not go up from here. So this is something complicated in a for loop, which you should understand. Okay, and next time it will go up from here, and it will be like I plus plus will be done, and I is less than equal to 10. I plus plus, what does I plus plus means? I plus plus is a shortcut. It means I equal to I plus 1. So I will become 1. Now 1 is less than equal to 10. Yes, it is true. It will again come down. So then again it will go I plus plus. I will become 2 because I is 1 right now. 2 is less than equal to 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this, it will go from the right hand side, and it will go till 10. 10 is less than equal to 10. Yeah, 10 is less than equal to 10 is true, and it will print that. Then again it will make it 11. 11 is less than equal to 10. No, it is not true. So it will exit out of the loop. This is how for loop works. First time only it will come from here, and then down. Next time it will come from the right hand side, here, and down. So this is how it works. Here, and like this, and then like this. Okay, so that is there. It works like this, and it will print. So this is a traditional for loop. It is there in almost all programming language. Now we will look into the next loop, which is the while loop. So while loop is actually much more easier to understand than the understand in the for loop. So let us understand the while loop, and here we are going to convert this while loop into while loop. While loop is also from the start. Okay, so let I equal to 0. In it first I will declare the variable, then I will have this while I is less than equal to 10, and then I will have this loop number like this, and I plus plus, and like this it will be there. Okay, so first let me comment this out. Okay, so let it run it, it will bring the same thing, but it is much more easier to understand because a program always runs from top to down. So I equal to 0 it is doing, then it will never go up to change again I equal to 0, so it is understandable. Then it is seeing that okay, 0 is less than equal to 10, yeah it is true. So come down, press the, enter the 0, then it is doing I plus plus, yes I will becoming 1, then it will go up, and then 1 is less than equal to 10, yes true, 2 is less than equal to 10, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, it will come down, come out. Okay, so that is it. It will do it for the, for like this it will go and it will do. But there is a problem with the while loop, and that is the reason in real world. Okay, in real world scenarios we don't, yeah both are doing the same thing. The major difference is that it is there for the past 80 years. First thing is that it is there for the past 80 years. I have not created it. I am not that much talented to create a programming language. Okay, so there is no major difference, but the only difference is that nobody uses while loop, no programmer uses while loop. The creator created it like that, but no programmer uses. See, the people who create programs, they're like a different breed of programmers, so we are like only the executors. The programmer like me are the executors, so there is no difference here. Okay, the only difference is that like the programmers like us don't like the while loop, and you'll hardly see while loop in any programming, any real production code. So why you'll not see a while loop? So the reason is there. See what happens, this is just an example thing I have taken, but in real life scenario this while loop will also have at least 10-15 lines of code. While loop will have at least 10-15 lines of code, more than that. In most production code it will have more than that. What happens in this while loop, the programmers who code for continuous like 2-3 years, see like I'm coding for 20 years. Okay, so like that you'll get in a habit, like this will be printed on in your brain, this for loop will be printed on your brain. Okay, this syntax will be printed on your brain anyways, like it will be like next nature. Okay, it has got three things, but sometimes this thing doesn't get printed on the brain, like I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus have to do. So most of the time what happens in some bigger project is people forget to do this thing, forgot to do the I plus, because that is not a part of the syntax, that you have to do later on. So what happens right now, if I run this loop, what will happen right now? I have forgot to give the I plus plus, I forgot to give the I plus plus. Okay, so now what will happen? First let me copy this thing. Okay, and now what will happen, actually it has gone to the infinite loop. Okay, it has gone to infinite loop. You're seeing this loop number 000 is been showing. Actually it is continuously going on. It has gone to the infinite loop. Okay, because I equal to 0, 0 is less than equal to 10, it is never increasing it. As loop number 0 only is getting executed continuously it is executing, and it will soon break the browser, because the browser also have some, it broke the browser. Browser also have some infinite number of memory and all, it will break. So this kind of loops are known as infinite loop, and this breaks everything. So that's why most of the programs don't use while loop. You won't see while loop anywhere, like this kind of incidents happen. But for loop, nobody means, everybody knows the syntax, like at the end of I plus plus is there. Here I just forgot it, and actually my browser just broke down and it is stuck. Okay, so if you want to write some this kind of a code, okay, so it is stuck. See, it is not even clearing it out. Okay, it is stuck, and I think I have to use, let me close it. This one, this tab is broken. Okay, so this thing happens when you go into an infinite loop. Suppose this thing happens in a real programs, which do just happens. I mean, sometimes this kind of things happens, and when this kind of things happens, this blocks big projects also. Okay, so big programs also. So that's the reason we don't use the while loop. Okay, so we can, if you want to use, you can use it like this. Okay, so now there is something else known as a do while. Okay, so what is a do while? This is also a very less used loop, and we are going to actually change this while loop into do while. But do while loop has got a special purpose which cannot be solved by either a while loop or a for loop like this. Do while loop. But again, these all these things are 80 years old, not they're introduced not today. Okay, so let here also let I equal to 0 will be there. Then we write do, here only we write do. Then we have this curly bracket, and then we have these things like okay, and then we have this while. After this we have this while. Okay, like this we have this while. So if you run a loop like this, you'll see no problem is no nothing different is there. Okay, so I equal to 0, then it is coming here while it is printing the 0, then I plus plus it is doing, means I equal to 1, 1 is less than equal to 10, and then it is going till the 11th one is then it is there. In this you will see not no difference is there. There is a difference in a do while loop. Do while loop is a special case. If you see it closely, the first time it didn't check anything. First time it didn't check any condition. It just came in and printed loop number 0. So if you want something like this, suppose I want something like it should print something at least one. It should not check the condition. Then we use do while. In that case, we cannot use while loop. We cannot use for loop because it will not even enter inside your this condition. Suppose I have something like I plus equal to like 11. So again, this is a shortcut. This means I equal to I plus 11. So what will happen here? I equal to 0 will be there. Loop number 0 will be printed. Then I equal to I plus 11. I equal to 0 plus 11 means 11. I equal to 11. 11 is less than equal to 10. No, it will break the loop. If I do the same thing in a while loop, it will not even run once. But here it will run once. So that is the thing of a do while. We can use do while for this, but this is a very special case scenario. As I told, most of the time just use the for loop. Okay, just use a for loop. But then also there are a lot of other things are also there, like for loop. As you can see, it is on a traditional for loop because this is there from the very start. Okay, this is there from the very start. Okay, so one thing, yeah. Let us now see one thing which is known as an array of objects. As I have told, most of the data on the internet actually move like array of objects, and there is something known as the API endpoints, which is generally created by the backend engineers, and we are going to learn about it in a bit, means later on. So the front-end developers, they only hit the API endpoint and get the data, and the API endpoints are created in languages like Node.js, Java, Django, C#.NET, Golang. All these are the other languages in which the backend is created, and the backend is just like a middle thing. It communicates with the database, and we create something known as API endpoints, and that is how the internet works actually. So if you go to a site like Amazon.com, it actually the front end. So what you are accessing is the front end, Amazon.com, and you get to see all the different items there. They are stored somewhere at some place in a database. But from the front end, what you actually do, you hit some API endpoint, the front end engineer, and you get that thing. I cannot show you the Amazon endpoint because Amazon is like such a big company, like it's one of the top companies in the world. So I cannot see the endpoint what they are hitting. But there is something like fake API store. There is a fake API store. Amazon is also a store only. So if I go here, fake API store. So this kind of free API endpoints are there in the internet. So if I go to these products, no, I think it's very slow. Okay. So That endpoint is very slow. Okay, so this is another endpoint, JSON placeholder post. Okay, it is also showing. So pretty print. Okay, so this endpoints, if I hit, suppose this is an Amazon endpoint, because Amazon endpoint is also like that. And the home page, when you hit, you'll get something like this array of object. As I've told, the data in the internet moves as array of objects. So you'll get an array of objects here. And see, what does this data contain? This data contains like your images and all. So images also like this comes in all the e-commerce site. Image will there, price, title, ratings, and actually in Amazon there will be a lot more things like the description and all those things will be there here. Ratings and all those things are there. And means it will be much more complicated than this is like this, it will happen. And then this array of object comes, then you have to loop through the array of object and show it on the Amazon side. So that is something also maybe we are going to see a bit, or maybe the JavaScript projects which I do, I will show them there. It will be much better to do show them in the JavaScript project. Okay, so that is there. And here, if you come here, here is also one endpoint like array of post. So like post array of objects, again array of object is there. Arrays are very easy to iterate and objects are very easy to store the data. So that's why this combination is like too much used. So let us now have something here quickly. And suppose as I told, array of objects like this, it will be there. Array of object, I have taken an array of object in this ID, name, year, all of these things are there. Okay, so now there are two ways to loop through it, actually three ways to loop through it. Let us see all the three ways. First is the traditional for loop. So traditional for loop, and it is like for, let suppose I want to find the name of all the languages. Okay, for let I equal to 0, I is less than lang dot length. This is a very common way. Lang dot length. Lang dot length, what will return here? Lang dot length is a array function. It will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will return 6. It will return 6 because array of objects is there. So each object is one item. So lang dot length is there, and then I'll do I plus plus. I'll do I plus plus, and then I will have a console dot log lang. So lang I, if I do lang I, it will give me each one of the object. If I run it here, you'll see that it will give me each one of the object, but I don't need each one of the object. I need so when it will loop through it, like lang of 0 will give this, 1 lang of 1 will give this, lang of 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will give it like this. Okay, and it is less than means it will only go till lang of 5, and array always start with 0 index. Okay, so lang 0 to 5 it will be shown, and then I'll do a dot name, because I've seen this is how we do it. So then it will show all the languages. So this is there. So then there is another thing. This traditional for loop is there from the starting, as I told. So all programming language adds their own for loop, because for loop is one of the most important loop. So another loop is like for of loop. It is like for let L, anything you can take. Suppose I'm taking a variable L, let L of lang and console.log L.year. Just this much you have to do, and it will show all the years. So years it is showing from here. So what is this? This is internally, this JavaScript people have created something internally. It works like a traditional for loop only, like it is doing this. But here what happens, the L, or this is not a keyword, this can be taken anything. Lang is like this language. So L I have taken L, each one of the L, when it will automatically loop, each one of the L will be each one of the objects. So this first object, second object, so each of the object will come. So that's why I'm able to get this thing. So this is there. This one for loop. This, but the most important loop nowadays is the for each loop, and this I'm going to teach again with ES6 also. So for each loop, and it only works on array. So for each loop works like lang dot for each, and it has got something known as uh, arrow function, which you're going to learn soon, means which is going to learn next, and if not today then tomorrow, because maybe we won't have time. So here I'll have like L dot for each, just IT, just IT or anything. Again, I can take anything. I'll take IT. IT means item, and console dot log item. Again, the item will be like each one of the object. Item dot maybe ID I will get this time. Item dot ID. I want to show the ID this with this. So let it run it. So the IDs will come. So like this, the traditional. This is the for each loop, and we use the for each loop the most nowadays. So that is the. It is the most modern loop. Okay, means these are all there, but this is the most modern one. So now we are after this for loop. After these loops, we are going to learn about the conditional statements. So the conditionals are like conditionals. One of the conditionals which I've already seen means that conditional. Conditionals are like if a statement, switch statements, all of them are known as conditional. So why they are used? They are used like they are not like for loop. For loop runs for a number of times till the condition is true. And if a statement, all the statements runs only once. Only once they will run. If the condition is true, they will run. If the condition is not true, they will not run. So again, we are going to learn this thing, and we're going to learn actually two concepts in the if statement. So suppose I am going to have a const x equal to like this 10, string 10. Notice that I have given a string here. It means it is not a number 10, it's a string 10. It is totally different than number 10. So if I have a if x double equal to 10, and then console dot log x is 10. Okay. So one more thing I want to tell, this equal to is known as an assignment operator, and double equal to, it is there in almost every other programming language also. Double equal to, it is known as a comparison operator. So this is in Java, C++, everything is double equal to is there. Okay. So what does assignment operator do? Assignment operator assign the right hand side to the left hand side, like this. We are using it for a long time, assignment operator. So in the x, the value of 10 will be assigned. Comparison operator, what it does, comparison operator actually compare the right operand with the left operand. It compares them, and it returns value in true or false. So what will happen in the if loop? If it is true, then it will go inside, or else it will not go inside. So in most programming languages, almost every programming language, this will not go inside. Why this will not go inside? Because string 10 is completely different than number 10, numeric 10. It's a string, it's a number. In most programming language, it will not go inside, means it will not, this if a statement will be false, so it will not go inside. But in JavaScript, if I run this thing, it will okay, what is happening? Okay, so it will, sometimes this thing happens. Okay, it will print x is 10. It will print x is 10. So why it is doing like this? Why it is doing this behavior? Because again, to the same thing, this JavaScript creator, what here when he created this thing, he actually did something like opposite of what was there in other language, and he thought that okay, if I am doing this if I'm doing this double equal to, what JavaScript internally does, it's a complicated thing which it does. It when it will see something like this, let me write it down in a comment. It will see something like this, it will try to convert this thing, it will try to convert the string. So it is saying that okay, someone is comparing the string with a integer, so I will convert the string to a number, which it will be successful with the number, and now it is true. So this conversion happens with the compiler does this conversion. Okay, so compiler does this conversion, so which is not a good thing. It should not do this conversion. And soon when JavaScript was released, they found this, okay, this is a very big bug, and we have to solve this bug. Again, since JavaScript, you cannot change anything, you cannot change this double equal to do a different behavior, because most of the internet is built on JavaScript. So what they did in the next 3 years, they introduced one more thing in JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript always new things are introduced, old things never goes away. So they introduced something different, which is known as a triple equal to, and it is JavaScript exclusive. It is only in JavaScript. So what is this triple equal to? So let us understand that. So const y equal to 20. Again, I have a string. Then I will have a if y not double equal to but triple equal to 20. Triple equal only in JavaScript is there. And then I'll do a console.log y is 20. If I let it run it, it will not come because it is no changing is done. Like a string is not converted to integer and all. In this triple equal to is there. It is also known as strict comparison. No type conversion is done here. Okay, so that is there, but it is not showing anything. So now let us learn about one other thing, which is like this. There is a with the if statement, there is a else part also is there. If the if statement is false, then the else part will 100% run. So I'll have a else part like this and like this console.log y is string 20. This if I do it, it will come, and y is string 20 is done because the else part was done. So this is the if else statement is there. Okay, so like the this is we have seen two things here, like this double equal to triple equal to, and if statement, if else statement. This is something known as if else if statement are there, which is again it is there in almost every other programming language. If else, we have just seen above, if else, if else. So like this it is there. So what does that mean? So let us see an example. So const z equal to 69, then if z is greater than 100, console.log z is greater than 100. So then we can have something like a else if also. Else if will also have a condition. Z is greater than 80. Z is greater than 80. Z is greater than 60. Z is greater than 60. And the last one is else will have Z is lesser than 60, like this. So if I run this thing, so what will happen? Z is greater than 60 billion. So how it runs? So it will come here and 69 is greater than 100. No, it is not true. Go to the next one. 69 is greater than 80. No, it is not true. 69 is greater than 60. Yeah, it is true. And it will go inside and print this thing, and it will exit this whole thing. It will not go to the next one. It will exit this thing. So this is known as if else. Very, very common thing in programming. Okay. So that is like this. And now the next thing which we are going to learn is the okay. So there is something known as or and operators, or and operators. So it is like const y equal to 20 and const x equal to 30. Suppose I have these two variables. So there is a or operator and operator, and what are they? Let us see. So if x equal to 20, or is given by or two pipes, and there should not be any space. It should be like this, two pipes, and y triple equal to 40, console.log any one of the statement is true. So if I run it, it will show me these things. Why? So because or operator means any one of them is true. Or means or. If this is true or this is true. So we can have 100 statement also, and like or piping or a lot of times. And even if one of them is true, it will go inside and execute whatever is there. This is known as or operator. So you might have guessed and operator is the opposite of it, in which even if one is false, it will not go inside. All of the statement, if there are 100 statement, 100 should be true. If there are two statement, both of them are true. So like this, I will make a and both of the statement are true. Clear it, run it. So this is not coming because one of the statement is false, because y is not 40. But if I make this y as 30, then this is also running. So this is the and or operator. So that is there. Okay, so now the next thing which you are going to learn is the ternary operator. Ternary operator. Ternary operator is going to learn. Ternary operator is used a lot in React, and React is something which we are going to learn next week. Okay, next week we are going to learn React. Okay, so this ternary operator is there. Suppose I have a const, and it is a replacement of if else statement. Const equal to 10. I have then let color is there. So first I write the if else statement, then I will convert it into a ternary. Okay, so if z is greater than 10, then which is not true, 10 is not greater than 10, then color equal to red, else color equal to blue, console.log of color. So blue is been printed because 10 is not greater than 10. 10 is not greater than 10. Okay, so that is there. So we'll convert the above into this thing into a ternary. So ternary is again a very good shortcut. Okay, let me comment this out. Or yeah, I will have a directly have a const color to equal to z is there. Z is again greater than 10. So then I will have this question mark, and then I will have this red and blue is there. So like this I'll have, and console.log of color 2 I'll have, and then if I run this, see again the okay blue is coming again. The blue is coming because 10 is not greater than 10. So how does this works? This works exactly like this if else statement. But what will happen? 10 is greater than 10, it will equivalent whenever it sees this question mark. It means like it is like a if statement. But see the benefit of it, it can be written in one line. This one liners are very important in React. Okay, so 10 is greater than 10, no it is not true, so it will do the other one, or else it would have printed this. Like if I have maybe I'll write it as 9. So 10 is greater than 9 is true. 10 is greater than 9 is true. So it will give the red. So this is known as ternary operator. Okay. So now we are going to come here, and we are going to learn about a statement which is known as switch statements. Switch statements. Okay. So switch statement is exactly similar to if else if statements. Okay, so const color equal to suppose blue. Most developer use if else statement, but there is a special case, means there's a redux which is there in React, in which we use this switch statements. Okay, like that, because it is mandatory there. Okay, so now I'll have a switch and color like this, and then case is red and console.log color is red, and I'll have this break. So this break is required. Okay, then I'll have this case again. Case green, color is green, blue, color is blue, and we have something known as a default default also. Default is console.log no color found. Clear it, run it. So the color is blue is coming, because see, it works like if else system only. So I've given this blue, so it will take this blue here and compare. Okay, case red, okay, notice no, it is not red. Then green, no, it is not green. So blue, yeah, it is blue, so it will print this thing. And if I give something like violet, if I give, and again it will come to the default. So you might have guessed the default is like a else part, everything else is like a if else statement, if statement like this. Okay, so there is one more thing like here in here. Look, okay, so let me have like another case. Suppose I have another case like yellow, and this break statement is very important in a switch case. Okay, in a switch case, if else there is no break statement, it is automatically run. Okay, so let me also do one more thing. Let me give today's attendance. Market attendance here. So okay, so what I was telling. Okay, so there is one special way, a special thing here. I come here and suppose if I don't give the break, then what will happen? If I don't give this break and I give this as blue, so you'll see two things will be printed. Color is blue and color is yellow. So break statement is very important, but sometimes intentionally we don't give the break statement. Suppose I can give something like this. Okay, and I have taken to this color is blue or yellow, so it will print it like this. Here if I give it yellow, then this is a very special case. Very less people use it like this. Like the break statement, generally people give always. That is a small thing which is remaining like in JavaScript basics, because we have to do DOM after this. That we are going to do tomorrow. That is known as functions. JavaScript is mainly a function-oriented language, so that function thing is remaining. So that we're going to do tomorrow, because we don't have time. It will take around 15 minutes. So we are going to do it tomorrow, and tomorrow main thing is that DOM will be done. So what is DOM? Document object model. DOM programming. It is known as DOM programming. This is the theory part. How JavaScript is used. It is also known as vanilla JavaScript. How JavaScript is used to do programming, the programming for the browser. So that is what we are going to learn there. Okay. So with this, I will end today's stream. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye.